put a bunch of stuff in the description, and that is showing up, so good. Okay, we are ready to go. Thank you all for coming. Today it's May 7th. Hey, Diane. Today's May 7th, and you're at my retirement workshop. Typically in years past, I've had my yearly retirement thing. I have a party and I give away all my samples. That's like the big deal thing. This year I'm still going to give away my samples, but I have to change stuff around. So this go around, we're going to have a Hostess Code. If you order $40 or more, and this is through the end of the month, you're going to get a make and take packet, which is going to include the pieces of the cards that I'm going to show you tonight, and you're going to get a share of my samples. So every year I clean out my samples, all my swaps I've done for the year, things that I've made, playing around with. I have a whole big box of stuff. Hey, Carrie. So you'll get some of that. I'll mail that to you, and if I don't have your address, I'll check with you. You know, I'll get it. Actually, when you place an order, I'll get it. So unless you click, like, do not contact me, and in that case, I can't figure out where to go. So we'll deal with that later. So let's get to it. So I'm going to show you 4 things tonight, and all are going to use retiring products, mostly stamps, paper, some embossing folders, and some goodies. So let me see. Let me move this stuff around. So let's go on the first project. Let me move this away. I'll bring this back later. So the first project, slimline cards have been a kind of big deal. I've heard a lot of talk about them the last month or two. Like, people are going nuts over them. So this is a slimline. There's no hard and fast rules for the measurements. I think generally it's like 4 by 8.5 or 3.5 by 8.5. This one I sized to fit a number 10 envelope, which is the business size envelopes. And I had some of these nice ones from Stampin' Up from a bunch of years ago, so you're gonna get this in your pack. So this is what your make and take pack is gonna look like for this particular card. And I'm showing you 2 different patterns because I have so many of this pattern, pattern paper, and I have so many of this. So if you really want the red one, this is Poppy Parade, then let me know that. If you really want the blue one, after you see I'm going to put this one together, then let me know that. And I'll do my best to get you what you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to do it randomly. Okay, so this is using the See a Silhouette designer paper. And all the patterns have this like white line to them. So it's like an image with a white line. And I thought that looked really good. Oh, hey, Deborah from Minnesota. I've got plenty of friends in Minnesota. That's awesome. So back to this. So we're going to do, I thought this design lended itself to paper piecing. And if you've never done that before, we're going to stamp and emboss, and then we cut out the different pieces and then put them back together. Hold on. So we're going to be using the Beautiful Day stamp set, this flower here. So see how the flower is attached. But here I've done it in different colors. So what we're going to do, let me get that. I feel like I got everything in my way now. All right, we'll put this away for now, all the pieces. So what I want to do is emboss 2 flowers on here in white. And I'm doing white to pull in the white lines here. Okay, so we're going to do Versamark. And actually, I'm going to do the leaves first. And I want to show you that. The leaves, you want 4 or 5 of them. I used 4, but we're going to go 5. So you're getting these 3 4x4 pieces of paper. Embossing. Now, I did do some of the embossing, but I'm only going to do the leaves because I want you to see how I want you to place these leaves around your papers. All right, so ignore this stamp for a second because that's for a different project. So I'm only going to ink up the leaf, and I want it, see right there, because we're going to cut it out. So I'm going to stamp around the edges, and I'm going to do 5. That's what we decided on. Okay, So I'm using Versamark ink, and I'm gonna do white embossing powder. Get my old coffee filter. All right, and I go all over the place. And then tap off the excess. All right, you'll see that? I'm gonna funnel this back in before I forget, because I don't want this flying everywhere. Yikes. Now I will tell you, I tried this with, there's some shimmery white embossing powder. I did not like it as much. That would be more, that would be better for snow, but not for white embossing. All right, so bear with me while I heat this up. So I'm heating from the bottom just to get the paper warmed up. And then it should go pretty quick. Yep, here we go. Going pretty quickly. Like once this heat gun gets hot, it goes. Okay. Phew. All right, that is done. Now with the magic of TV, we have our other flowers done. So these colors are Old Olive, Blueberry Bushel, which this Blueberry Bushel is retiring. The paper, the re-inkers, everything. And then we've got Night of Navy. Now ignore the fact that I missed that and I embossed it. Let me bring this one back in. So you see, I don't want to cut the leaf out of this. I just want the flower. And I'm going to go pretty quick. Oh, and has anyone noticed that, does it seem a little lighter? I mean brighter in here, because I got a new light. So now I've got two outlets. I've got one over here and one over there. So hopefully this is going to help make everything nice and bright. I mean, I can tell just working in here, it makes a difference. But with the camera contraption and the lights all hanging down in my area, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Funny. All right, so I am not getting this perfect. I just want it quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. There we go. Not only because that's boring for you, but just because I wouldn't anyway. So round. I like to leave a very small border. Sometimes it's not even, but I won't worry about that too much. If you like to cut things right at the line, if you don't want any extra, like see how I've got this little border there. If you don't want a border, that's fine. Just don't cut one. It's up to you. I like to leave it just, I feel like it's wiggle room for air. Like if I was cutting right at the line, I would feel more apt to want it to be perfect, and that's just not me. So I've got these cut, and so when we get all the leaves, I actually cut these already, but I stamped it off the edge because we only want the leaf. So we'll cut around here. And then I'm going to cut it in here. So we're going to attach glue to this bit. All right, and then I'll put these away. I feel like if you guys can see that, then I can work on my paper. All right, so we're going to put these here now, for now, because I don't know exactly where I'm going to put them on my paper. So the cardstock that you're going to get is going to be scored already. So you're going to want to brandish it or burnish it. You're going to get your designer paper, and then there's going to be 2 sheets of this white. One is to back your designer paper up with, and if you flip it over and want that piece, that's fine. That's up to you. I just like the other side because it ties in with the whole white, outliney stuff. All right. That's straight enough? Yep, okay. Tape, tape, tape. Alright, so I'm gonna put that there. Now comes the eyeballing. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on the inside. So if you wanted to leave your inside piece out until you stamp something on the inside or wrote it, you know, in case you mess up, I mean, that's up to you. I'm feeling pretty confident, like whatever I put in here, that's gonna be it, one and done. Okay, so now I just played around with, I think I am gonna hide that. So I think I'm gonna have my flowers like that. And then I'm gonna use some glue dots. I'm gonna put a glue dot right on the top of here. Actually, I'm gonna use two. Why not? They're tiny. So I'm gonna stick that there. And then I'm kind of gonna go in the same general pattern that I had before with 2 leaves on this one. Let's see, over here. Deborah, you love slimline cards. You make a lot of good slimline cards, Deborah. You have a nice die that I like. I really do enjoy yours. All right, I'm gonna put that there. Now I only raised up one of these with some dimensionals, and that would be this one. So this one I'm just gonna tape down. And I'm gonna get it, see how it's hanging off the edge there? That's totally fine. All right, and then we'll go get dimensionals. And I use quite a bit. All right. Okay. Peeling these suckers off. Now your ribbon is Old Olive because those are the colors that are in all these papers. So if you end up with this card, you're gonna get the Poppy Parade ribbon that goes with it. If you're gonna pick this card, you're gonna get the Old Olive. So let me put this in. So now I wanna do the ribbon before I stamp and do this bit. See how this has a little fold, like a little pleat? So what I do is take some of this red line tape and let's go about there. And it's gonna go right here. So push that, this stuff, okay, whoo, I came off pretty easily. Now I'm giving you about 10 inches of ribbon, which is a whole bunch more than you would need, but you may want to do pleats across the whole thing. That's up to you. All right, I'm gonna cut this edge nice before I start. I'll put it at an angle. All right, so I'm gonna start pressing it down. So the tape is going from like here to here, but I want to keep in mind this punch out. Let me put this here. So I don't want my pleats under here because it's gonna get covered up. So I really just want one on the end. Maybe let's do 2. So I'm just folding it. And then I'm gonna get all the way over here. And do another one. And I think I ran out of tape there, but that's good. I'm gonna keep it right like that. All right, now this is gonna flatten out. So as you put your card in the mail, these pleats are gonna flatten down, so don't worry about that. All right, now for this, I'm lucky to have a friend like you. That is from another retiring set. Oh, I just dropped something. Love what you do. I'm lucky to have a friend like you. For this one, I'm gonna use It's a Beautiful Day, just to show you the difference. I mean, it's just a different set of words, but. So you're gonna get this piece that is already punched out. So all you have to do is stamp. Now, like I said before, if you don't have these stamps, you just use whatever you want. You can order them today if you want, or you can just find something in your stash that fits the pieces that I'm mailing you. And I feel like that is a little bit crooked. Me no likey. That is crooked. All right, do over. Normally I would stamp first and then punch, but I want to do this way because this is how you guys are gonna get it. You're gonna get yours already punched. All right, this better be good enough. Okay, shoo. I'm gonna put this in a pile to clean that off later, and I did poke this up with some dimensionals also. And I'm getting around to the end. Now you are going to need to use you're going to have your own dimensionals, your own adhesive, your own like rhinestones. So I'm basically just mailing you the cardstock pieces and the envelopes. And we're going to finish this off with some rhinestones. And that, I actually will toss that. So I'm going to do a big one over here. I'm kind of keeping the same mojo that I got going over here. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. So that is your first card. And like I said, I only have so many in this pattern and so many of this pattern. So you tell me, you know, when you place your $40 order, if you do, you're going to get the make and take packet. So you tell me if you have a preference. Otherwise, I'll just send you whatever. So that's the first one in the blues and the reds, Poppy Parade. I love it. Next. Oh, I just dropped my glue dots. That is no good. Okay. Now I can't tell, oops, something happened. Hey, sissy. So my video is frozen on my laptop. I don't know if it's just me. I've noticed that a lot of the Facebook things, hey Tracy, a lot of the Facebook videos that I've watched in the last couple days have been getting frozen. And I don't know how to deal with that. If that's really still happening, if it's just my screen that hiccuped, I can't tell. I'm just going to keep going with it, okay? All right, so the next card, this is going to be a note card. It's a note card with envelope. The ones that are pre-cut and scored. Yours is still good? Okay, Deborah, good. It's just me then. For some reason, mine just hiccuped for a bit. Okay, so we're going to use the pre-cut note cards and envelopes. And this is really thick. This is the Whisper White thick paper. And the note cards are 3.5 by 5 inches. They come 22 a pack. There's like 20 cards, note cards, 20 envelopes. So let's see. I'm going to emboss your envelope flap. I thought that gives it a nice little touch. You're going to get your embossed background, which we're just going to glue right on there. You're going to get a, what is this piece for? Now you're going to get this piece that I stamped the greeting on. Actually, I have that here. And you're going to get birds. You're just going to get 2 birds that are facing each other. So there's a whole sheet, and I'm going to cut you out some that are whole. So like for this one, I would cut this one, and that one, and that one. And your ribbon is I'm going to try to match up the ribbon to whatever color birds you get. So I use Coral Calypso here because I have this guy here. With these two, I'm not going to use the coral because there isn't any in there. Let me cut this out. And again, I just quickly cut this and left a little border. One thing I noticed today when I was cutting things out, I don't put my wrists on the table when I cut. I find that I have better movement when I hold my elbows up. Like, I don't know if anybody took typing class, but you know how they told you, don't put your wrists on the table. Like our teacher would whack our hands. So I find it, I keep my wrists up and then I can just move this around a lot easier. And I don't know if that's just me being weird or what, but there you go. All right, so I've got our birds. Actually, I'm gonna glue this down. When I use these embossed backgrounds, I like to use the liquid glue just because I feel like it holds it better than tape. I mean, I would use the red line sticky tape. I would use that if you have to. But I do like this glue because then we can wiggle it around some too if you don't get it just right. Okay, and we do have to hold it there for a few seconds. So I will check over on comments. Hey, Susie. Diane, what was the first stamp set I used? The one with this flower on it, that is called A Beautiful Day, and that is retiring. That's got this cool butterfly and the flower. So that is on its way out. All right, did I get any on me? Nope. All right, so we've got our birds. And on this one, I wanted to use some of this. This is Granny Apple Green on the one side and Coastal Cabana on the other. And this, Too Bright. This color, I like it. So we're gonna use that. And like I said, your ribbon in your make and take packet will be something that matches whatever birds you get. Actually, I'm gonna go back to my sticky strip. And in case anybody's wondering, where did I get this giant roll of this stuff? Our friend Peggy used to have a hookup, and so we got a bunch, but that is no longer available, so you can still find that stuff at Michael's or Joann's or something. I think you get like 5 or 10 yards of it or something. Peel it off pretty good. All right, so I'm going to stick that right on there. A little long. Let's get that off. Okay, perfect. Where my birds go. And I'm going to put my birds. Yeah, I kind of like it the way I did it. All right, so you're going to get this piece again. Now, I stamped this already and punched it out. I was going to use, this came from Layered with Kindness, so this is retiring as well. And I didn't want to mess around with this, trying to, you know, stamp it without I'd have to get the stamping positioner and all that. So I just did that ahead of time. This I used Old Olive. So everything's Whisper White and Old Olive because pretty much every bird is going to have some kind of olive in it. So we're going to put dimensionals behind this guy. Now when I get around to the edges, I use all the edges of my dimensionals. And let's stick one here and here. Now I'm going to put the greeting down first, and then I'm going to put my birds around him. I mean, that seems like it would be common sense, but who knows? I might as well just tell you what I'm doing, right? All right, now I want this guy up here. So I'm just going to put a glue dot behind his head here because this piece is already raised up. So then I'll put the dimensional right behind his body. And then they'll be all on the same level. Oh, is that going to cover up my ribbon? Yeah, I'm going to put him up a little so you can see the ribbon poking out. All right, and then same with this guy. I might have to tilt him a little because he's really big. All right, I'm going to put a glue dot behind his head, and then he'll get one behind his body. Oh, and this is another thing. These bird ballad, yeah, I don't know if I really like him like that. I might have to put him up a little bit further. I don't want him at an angle. I'm going to trim his tail off because otherwise he won't fit in the envelope. I like it. And then we'll put some pearls on here. What was I saying? Oh, so the bird ballad paper, that pack, Bird Ballad Suite, and the one that I used before, See a Silhouette, those packs are both on sale now for only $8.05. So they, you know how they put some of the stuff, some of the last call stuff on discount, and I just went in there today and noticed that those were on sale. So that's interesting. Okay, so that's that little note card. So now we've got a birthday card. Sweet. I like it. Okay, so we're moving along. Now this next one is going to be a whole lot more stamping, but that is okay, because that's what we're here to do, right? You love them, die. All right. So this one, I wanted to use the Sweetly Swirled set. This has some good swirls, a circle swirl, oval, a smaller one, and I like this font. I got this and I didn't really get to use it enough before it retired, so I am kind of bummed about that, but we're going to use it today. So we're going to have I've got a soft suede card base, and then I've embossed crumb cake with the hardwood background. Now the hardwood, this embossing folder is not retiring, so don't worry about that. I just liked it because I thought it reminded me of a front door, like a wooden door. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. Now this swirl happens to fit perfectly on, this is the largest size circle out of the layering circles dies. Now here's, I want to tell you this. So there's a lot of dies on the retiring list that are not actually retiring. The layering circles, that has the circles and the scallops that I used here. Circles, ovals, squares, a bunch of them. They're not actually retiring. It's just that they're being given new numbers. You know, they changed how they made their dies like a year or so ago. And I think it's just to get in line with that now. So out with the old, in with the new. So don't worry about when you saw these dies on the retiring list. They're not retiring. So no worries. Okay, so back to this. So here's your make and take packet. So you've got your card base. This is for your inside. This is the layer that I embossed already for you. This side, I started doing this last year. When I want you to stamp and cut stuff out, I cut the side off, so you know it's not going to go anywhere on your project. So this is what you're going to do all your stamping on. Let me move that. And then this little piece will be for the greeting. So I've got a wreath and then all these little flowers and a bow. And I thought, it's really sweet, and cutting these out is not a huge deal. So I want to show you, let's go first to the wreath part. Now I've got him on the back of this. I want my crumb cake. Now I didn't stamp off. I used this full strength, and I'm going to stamp it 3 times. So let me show you. Now sometimes you need a foam mat under these photopolymers. Sometimes you don't. I don't really need to. Actually, I gotta stand up because it's harder than I thought stamping away from yourself. All right, so I'm gonna give him there. I like it. So now I'm re-inking. Now I'm just gonna turn it a little bit to make this wreath fuller, and then I'm gonna go at it again. And this time, let me go here. Ooh, I like it. So that reminds me like of a grapevine wreath. I love it. And I'm done with this guy. Okay. Gonna make a pile for my ink pads. All right, move this over. Now, you can see I did some of the little sprigs, and then they ended up getting covered up. So I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to put them higher. And I used Old Olive and soft suede and crumb cake. Now here's another thing. If you have all these little stamps and if you don't have enough of the small blocks, you can double them up on different ends. Just put one on one side. You don't want them both on this side, because I guarantee if you put it in your ink pad, this will get the same color, and you probably don't want that. So just put them on a different end. So let me get here, and I'm gonna go, and I'm not worried about if it goes off the edge. I just want to get this up high enough. All right, and then did I forget my, oh no, it's right at the bottom. Of course it is. Now go soft suede. And after I clean this, suede, and I'm going to put that down a little further. And this one's going to poke out some. And then I'm going to put one with crumb cake right in the middle. Alright, I think I'm done with the crumb cake after this. And it doesn't show up a ton, but it's just something a little extra to be there. Diane, oh, I know my colors. Yeah, 20 years, so I mean, they do stand out. That's funny. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I want you to stamp these. You have plenty of room to get a bunch of flowers on here and then cut them out. So I started with the leaves though. Let's go with Garden Green. And here's my little leaf. And I did some, I don't know if you can tell, some are stamped full strength and then stamped off. So to get that, we'll go stamp, 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 stamp. And why not? Yeah. And then that'll be it for the green. And then I'll go back, and then I did some with Old Olive too, just so I could get different, different shades. All right, and same thing, we're gonna stamp off. And one more, why not? Okay. Then I took this little flower guy, and we're gonna do it in Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade is, it's more orangey than real red. I like it once in a while, like with certain colors. Yeah, it's definitely more orangey. So I want 3 of those. And you can make, you know, if you want all your flowers different colors, if you don't like Poppy Parade, that's fine. It's gonna be yours to do with how you want. All right, and this little thing I want in the orange. I'm using Pumpkin Pie. And they will lighten up. Don't worry about that. And then Gorgeous Grape for these little flowers. And I did some of these, at least one stamped off. I like them all bright. Okay. So that is it for the stamping of all those flowers. Then you get to cut them out. Psh, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna let you suffer through that. So I cut these out earlier, and then I had a little scrap piece of paper, so I made a box for them. But let's dump out what we have. You know, I could do a video at some other point about making a box, because I love making boxes. I mean, they're not as hard as people think. Once you get the general idea down, they're easy. All right, I'm gonna match these up shade-wise, because now we're just gonna build our wreath with our different pieces. And it's gonna be glue dots, dimensionals. You know, we're gonna pop some up, some are gonna be flat. All right, and I probably stamped and cut too many, but that's okay. Now I wanna keep kind of the middle open, because that's where I'm gonna put my bow. So I'm just gonna keep my finger here for a minute. So let's start with a leaf here. And I want the leaf to go, it's gonna be on the bottom of the wreath, so I'm just gonna stick him right here. And then I'm gonna put a red guy, flower right on top of him. I wanna hang that over a little, okay. Then I want this leaf. Actually, I'm gonna put this one, I'm gonna attach him under this orange piece, and we're gonna use that later. For now, I wanna do the purple one first. And I am just gonna stick them on in the same pattern. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. All right, now this one I popped up. So where are my dimensionals? You may want some mini dimensionals for this. I mean, if you have regular size, that's fine. You can always cut them down. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna put that. And then this was popped up as well. So I'm gonna slide them in there. And And then I had another Poppy Parade. Man, these little ones don't want to come off. Now I just had him hanging off the edge a little bit like this. Okay? Easy. It's going to look better when I get it all together, I'm sure. All right, then I want this guy. Again, I'm going to put him underneath this orange bit. And he was popped up immediately, just by himself. So I'm going to stick it. All right, that's where I want my ribbon. Put him right here. Then I've got another. I want to use that red one and that purple one. So yeah, I did cut a lot of extras, but that just means I can make more cards. I'm going to put this guy underneath the purple flower. And pop him up. Oh, am I stamping these for you? No die, so that's the thing. I cannot stamp any images. That's part of the rules with Stampin' Up. They don't want us pre-stamping anything. So that's why I want to say you'll get your card kit, and if you have the stamps, you can you can make these exactly as I'm doing. If you don't, you just have to use whatever you have in your stash. So that is that. So let me put this on here, and then one more flower. I'm gonna stick this down here, and then pop this guy up. Thank you, Deborah. I liked building this. It was fun. All right, now these, let me scoop these all, and I'll put them back in my little flower box. Man, I get these dimensional things everywhere. Ugh. Okay, now for the wreath, you're gonna get get a piece of ribbon. This is Gorgeous Grape, which is the same color purple here. You're gonna get it this long. This is how I make a bow. I loop it and then come around and pull it through, and then pull it tight, and then you know, just adjust. And I don't make it any harder than that. People have different ways of doing it. That's totally up to you. So that's how I do mine. And then I'm gonna put 2 glue dots behind it, and I'm sticking it right there. And then I will trim it. So hopefully I've given you enough to work with ribbon-wise that however you want to make yours, you will be successful. Now this isn't even, but I kind of like that. It's kind of crawling up that side more. I could actually add another one, but I'm gonna leave it. All right, now we're gonna stamp, and I've already got the words mounted. So for this one, you're really missed, because again, I think we need to be sending cards like this out to people, right? So that they know we miss them. And again, I'm going in the soft suede ink, and is that straight? Yay! Nailed it! Okay, that I'll put away. And let's bring our card pieces back so now we can assemble everything. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, this was the largest circle cut out of the layering circles. This is the largest scallop, and that's from the same set of dies. Yeah, I think I did, because then I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, they're not really retiring, blah, blah. All right, I'm gonna put this on the inside. So my inside pieces, I cut down about 1/4 inch. So this is like 4 by 5 1/4. And when I blow this up onto YouTube, I'm not gonna do that till this weekend. I will put all the measurements for my cardstock pieces, because if you don't get the make and take kit, you can still cut your own paper and make your own, you know? So I will do that this weekend. And again, I'm using the glue. Seems like these things last forever, and then all of a sudden they're dry. All right, I thought that was drying up on me, but it is not. So I will again glue this down, wiggle it, got it, and hold this for a second, and then I can look over at comments. Diane, you got your punches today? Good, 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 good. I don't remember if you had ordered those or not, so I'll have to go back and check. Was that the one in the scallop punches or the circle punches die? I can't remember. Okay, now this one, I'm gonna put glue on this. And this one, I should have mounted this to the scallop first, but that didn't go so horribly. You know how when you try to run tape runner over a lumpy thing? I gotta hold it up here so I can see. I want these scallops to be even. Okay. And then I pop these up. Okay. Dimensionals, dimensionals. Where were they? Die, what tape runner are you using? So I am using this, let me finish this and then I will bring that in. It's a new brand that Peggy turned me on to that I got from Amazon. Because the mono, the Tombow, you know, I was using that for 20 years or whatever. And then I had a bad batch and so that was a bummer. I could have gotten over it though, but I just felt like it wasn't sticking anymore. So then Peggy found this new stuff and I thought I would try it and I like it. All right, so then I put the glue and I'm just putting this right down here. All right, let me hold this. So get a look at this die. It's called Kokuyo, and I got it from Amazon. And the refills come in a 5-pack, I think, and it's pretty reasonable. I forget how much this was. Maybe $8 or something for the holder, and then the refills were a couple bucks a piece, but you know, in a 5-pack. And it's 36 meters, which, you know, a darn metric system. I can't do the math right now, but it lasts me a long time. So that's that. All right, and then we'll put some rhinestones on, and I'm gonna do big ones this time, bigger ones. 2 big ones and a small one. Well, medium, whatever. And I like it up here. So there is that. That is our 3rd project. Oh my God, and it's already been 45 minutes. Yikes. I was trying not to be, you know, so long tonight. But there's that, so I hope you like that. Now I've got one more thing to show you. We're doing 4 projects tonight. So our last one, oops. Oh man, hold on, sorry. I hit a button on the laptop and my window went away, so I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, it totally went away. All right, I'm gonna have to try to look. Oh, Frozen, is that why? All right, so Di, hold on. I've got to log back into Facebook. I thought it was just my computer. Oh no, it's still here. Okay. Tony. Like I touched something on the laptop and then the whole window went away. Frozen, live. I'm going back over to that. Okay, I'm back. Okay, back on your end. Good, Di. Thanks. Okay. Phew. All right. 4th, this is your last project, and then I want to tell you a few other things. Now, ta-da! I love it. So it's a tag. It's a little gift bag, which this retired last year, I think. The copper one is the one I'm going to make and show you. The copper ones are what's retiring now. Just like with the first project, if you have a color preference, you have to let me know, because the copper ones, I only have 4 of these clips. My mom gave them to me. She got them at Walmart, and I only have 4 left. The gold ones, I have plenty of. But we're using Blueberry Bushel and Coastal Cabana on both of them. So those colors, these pieces are the same. So you're going to get your bag, the foil, this Noble Peacock foil that I've already trimmed down, and I've already embossed this with the High Seas embossing folder. Then you're going to get this fishnet stuff that I already cut out of the foil, copper versus gold. You know, whatever color you pick, you'll get the right one. So this is just this little tag that we're going to make, and then it clips right on. I love it. And this mermaid set is one of my favorites. Okay, so let me show you how we're doing this. So you can see I did it embossing. So gold embossing, and on the copper one, I used copper embossing powder. And I'm not gonna do the embossing, I'm not gonna show you that, I already did it. So we're gonna do Have a Magical Birthday. Where'd my, oh, here we go. Now, I did this on regular Whisper White cardstock. And to get these colors, I'm actually going to use water and a paintbrush and ink pads. It is not recommended necessarily to use watercolors on this paper because it just can't, it's not built to handle that much water. But I'm only going to be using a tiny little bit. And I like that it's more of a washed, like a lighter effect. Like if you did it on watercolor paper, it would be pretty vibrant. So this is, I want that washed out look. So I'm gonna use it. So let me just start there. Where's my paintbrush? Right here. So I've got a little teeny thing of water. I used this, the first one I did, I used my aqua painter, and that is entirely too much water. So I thought I would switch and use just a paintbrush. I need my paper towel. All right, now I used Blush Blossom for her body, but for this one, I'm gonna use Petal Pink. And I don't have a palette, so I'm gonna use my blocks. So you can always use your clear blocks as a paint palette. So I'm gonna take a little water, and I'm gonna work lightest to darkest. So that's why I'm gonna do the body first. So take a little bit of water, dab that in, and I'm just gonna scroll it down like that. That's it, done. Then I get a new block for the next color. So next I want to use Coastal Cabana. So for this one I'm using Blueberry Bushel, again that's retiring, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do, this is the latest one, Coastal Cabana. This piece out of the way. So again, just pick up some ink, a little bit of water. Now I just dotted this around randomly in her fins. All right, not perfect. And actually I did a whole bunch more water to do her hair because I wanted that to be like just barely any color. Okay. Good, that's it for that. Then I'm gonna move to Bermuda Bay and just make a pile of all my blocks. Actually, I'll just use this one. Whatever shape, doesn't matter. Same thing, just a little bit of water. And I'm just putting it in randomly. Ooh, that is coming out nice, I like it. Clean, put that away. And I can already tell this is looking a little different than my first one, and that's okay. All right, and then we'll go with the blueberry. So again, water. This, I don't trust it. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm just going over. Now, when you color over the embossed areas like this, I am gonna take this paper towel. Ugh, look at that. Jeez. If you're using markers with the embossing, you would really need to blot it up because the marker would bead up on the paper towel. All right, and I'm just painting. Now see how this shows you how the Whisper White is not meant for watercoloring. It's really getting saturated. But this is what the color I wanted. I wanted it, it's more of a flat look. So I'm going to add some Winkostella. All right, that's it. Put this away. Now this, I am going to cut it. I didn't cut one ahead of time. So I just want to show you again, like, I'm not doing a detailed cut, like I'm just moving it around. I'm trying to leave myself a small border, but that again is personal preference. Now when it gets up into her hair, let's see, I made some, I tried to get in like the little grooves just a little bit, but I'm not cutting every strand out, so this is good enough. So this seems like a lot of work for, you know, like a little tag, but it's so cute. It's adorable, pretty. I like the embossing. That always sets, you know, that always makes something extra nice if you got a little metallic in there. All right, now this is still a little wet, but that's okay for our purposes. So I'm gonna run it through with a Winkostella over the whole thing. Now this Winkostella will tend to activate these colors again. I've seen it, it's come up blue after I use this, but so just watch your ink or your marker, your Winkostella. Ooh, now I don't know if that shimmer is coming through. Let me hold that up a little. Is it? You can see it. Actually, I'm gonna go one more time with this, because I really want her fins to be sparkly and her hair again. Actually, let's do her whole body. Mermaids probably all sparkle. Okay. Now we're ready for assembly, because I've got my embossed piece. So you'll get just the punch out, like just that punched out, and then that white piece that you can stamp your own stuff on. So I've already punched this. Now the waves, which way are the waves going up? Let's do this. I've ripped the little bottom off because I wanted that rough. Now, when I originally put this together, like I wanted it like at an angle, but I don't want any of that hanging up. So I'm gonna slide it up there. And I'm actually gonna use a even different adhesive. This is pretty strong. It's not as strong as the red line tape, but it's pretty strong. Fast fuse, we used to have it, but again, that's retired as well. All right, this is just gonna clip on. Now I like to fold it front ways because I like the scallopy, the pinking, I like that to be on the front. But you could do, you know, you could do it however you want. So that's gonna go like that. We're gonna put her on after I wanna put this foil. Now this is out of the copper foil. It is so shiny, I love it. Let's see, run it that way. And actually, I think I just put a piece of tape. I did, because I'm gonna use all sorts of dimensionals and to put the mermaid on and this bit, and it's gonna cover up the tape that we've used. So now, let's find my dimensionals again. See how this water came through? That would not do it with thick paper. But thick paper would have been harder to cut. But either way, I wanted the washed out look that I got from using the regular. I'm gonna put that right there. And then this is gonna come in here with some more dimensionals. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see that adhesive right there. So that's why I'm sliding that right there. Okay. And then that's gonna sit there with the clip. Now it's ready for ribbon. Now, I don't know if you can tell. So the ribbons hang down nicely, and I think that's because, not I think, it really is, because I tied this in knots at the end. This is actually blue grosgrain that I had from a couple years ago. It was called Royal or something, but it matches Blueberry Bushel perfectly. So we're using that. Then I had this gold cord, and I had it in copper and silver. It's a thin cord, so I'm going to tie knots in that too. The knots reminds me of like fishing net. So let me show you how this is going to go. So I've got my copper and the blue. Now the copper one, I find it easier to attach this to something when I'm tying it. What did I attach it to before? Anyone know what I was talking about? I think it was a spool of ribbon. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, here it is. Okay. So then this will sit up. So I want the ribbon to tie that way. So I started with the cord, and I folded it in half, and I'm going to slide it. Actually, I want it to be like that. I want it to be up for a minute. Slide it under there, and I'm just going to tie this in a knot. Man, it's hot in here. Now I know why Gail has her fan on when she's stamping. Oh, how did that get messed up? I can't even tie a knot and talk at the same time. This is ridiculous. All right, knot. Got it. All right, then I'm gonna clip the ends. Get that out of the way. So the knots I did the one at the end first. And then I just spaced them, did some more up, like 3 or 4 on each strand. And it's only gonna take you a minute. And they don't have to be exactly in the same spot, so don't worry about it. Oh, hey Gail. Don't worry. So we're on my last thing. I really didn't think I was gonna go almost an hour, so I appreciate everybody being here. Okay, tying this. Yeah, I think tying this knot, I like to do this also with black baker's twine at Halloween because it reminds me of spider legs. And then it gives them a little extra weight so they hang down nicely. So then I'm gonna just come over here. Oh, what? I meant to do the one on the end first. Julie, hey girl, what are you doing? Okay, last one, I'm gonna tie knots on this one. Now when I get to the blue ribbon, I only tied knots on the very end because this is skinnier. It needed more knots, I thought. And the blue one, it just needed that little bit at the end, at the bottom to weigh it down. All right, let's pull this. All right, so this is how our tag is gonna hang down. Now I can add the blue ribbon. Now I'm giving you a lot. I've given you like maybe 21 inches, 22, whatever it takes. All right, again, I want to flip this up for a minute. So I start with a knot, and you can tie your ribbon on your clip however you want. This is just how I do it. So I put the metallic on first, that's thinner, and then I'm gonna lay this one, squeeze it real hard, and I guess this is a double knot. All right, now this is where when I do bows, I turn it upside down because this is how I tie my shoes. And I may be wrong, but this is how I do it. So loop and then loop it around. And I do this because for whatever reason, when I tie it like that upside down, they hang this way. And that's what I want. Perfect. All right, and then we'll tie the knots at the end. Diane. It is like you're sitting across from me, watching me. They're funny. Yeah, hopefully the crops will get started again. We can like go to Denise's crop again if things start to open up. I don't know. Okay, so that is our clip with our ribbon bows. So we'll put that on. And like I said, if you have a preference for copper versus gold, you gotta let me know that, because I only have 4 of the copper clips. And then we just tuck it behind like bangs. But see how, I mean, it just gives it some weight, and this wants to hang down some. Adorable. I love it. Sparkly. Love it. Gold, copper. All right, now I just have a few things. That's all the projects I'm doing. So that's our 4 projects for our retirement workshop. A couple more things to tell you. Like I said, so this is every year for people that do know me. I offer my stuff that is retiring. I offer it at 50% off the catalog price, without tax or shipping either. Although shipping is extra because I'm gonna have to ship it to you. So this is all what I have left, because I put out a list a couple weeks ago, and people have already spoken for things. So I'm gonna set this up. I'll leave this up here for a minute. It's always first come, first serve. And like I said here, the punches, these are cheaper on the website. So they were $16 punches, and I do everything at 50%, so that's $8, but they actually have it cheaper there. So if you order 40 or more, and you have to use the Hostess Code, that's important. You're gonna get the make and take kit, you know, all the projects that I made today. You're gonna get the paper for that, and then you're gonna get a share of my swaps. These are all my swaps that I've participated in for the last year, and there are a lot of good stuff. And these are all full cards. We don't do card fronts anymore, so you will be able to use these. You may have to put a piece of paper in the middle. Not everybody does that, but they're gorgeous. They're all lovely cards. So if you have any questions, that is the end of my... Oh, no, wait. I forgot to put bling on that one. I just see them now. My bad. I put rhinestones here. I just saw these things. These Noble Peacock rhinestones are still available. They're on sale. And just like this foil, this is Noble Peacock foil. It's a specialty thing. Comes with 3 colors. That is on sale too. So I'm going to use these. They're actually called Night of Navy, but they're not Night of Navy. They're more like Blueberry Bushel. So we'll put these here. I mean, that adds a little bit extra to it. So here I had the regular ones, and this one I used the colored. So you'll have to have your own rhinestones too. Jeez, almost forgot that. But I love it. Adorable. Okay, so that is it for tonight. If you order anything, at least 40 or more, use this code so you get your make and take packet. If you have any questions in the meantime, just email me, ToniStamps@yahoo.com. I'm here, so I'll answer all your questions. Okay, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.